that was our double pack right in the middle, so it was a heavyweight and it was humanities for a change. We're actually remaining a bit within the field humanities, but we're moving over a bit also to engineering. Our next candidate is Hani Abu Wafa from Egypt. Our Egyptian candidates brought also some special technology with him, so he needs some seconds to prepare himself. We're not going to count this from his 10 minutes yet.
Cool. It worked. That's very good.
Perfect. And you're at TU Munich, and you're working actually on urban spatial dynamics in Addis Ababa in this case, but you actually have a subject that is a bit larger. That's also about urban developments on a global perspective, also developing countries. Why did you go from Egypt to Munich to study these subjects?
The same thing that I wrote in the brochure. I really find lots of facilities there, lots of networking, lots of human resources that I could use, that I could develop my studies and also make multidisciplinary, which is quite good for the challenges we have.
Okay.
I would like to thank the AD, just like everyone, not only to come here and slam, also to see my mom and my friends.
This is how the AD brings together people.
But yeah, thanks a lot for everything.
Thank you for being here. So Hani has a STEM name that is Hani. He's going to talk about modeling urban spatial dynamics in Addis Ababa. Exactly. Go ahead.
Okay, cool. I'm Hani. I'm from the Technical University of Munich. I come from Cairo, Egypt, so I'm quite familiar with the surrounding here. I just want to start by talking about the new creature, which is the city. I just want to know how many people here are living in a city. And how many people have grandfathers, fathers, or anyone else is not coming from a city, coming from the Delta or so. Super. Then we're agreeing on something, that there's a pattern. People are moving to the city, shaping this new creature called the city, the urban population. Maybe it's an existing creature, but it's very new to us, at least the pattern or the trend. We have now 50% of the world population living in cities, and we have more than 450 cities of population more than 1 million, which is quite huge. I have a new creature, I don't know how to deal with it, especially in a developing country context where you don't really know how it will behave. It's informal settlements, so you really need to understand the behavior of this informal settlements. You need to understand how the city grows, how this creature grows. Just like any other creature in the past, including human beings, people used to study these creatures by looking at them, trying to understand their behaviors. Can you do the volume off, please? We will deal with the new creature. We need to understand it in order to see how it grows or how it develops. And then And then we will put it in a controlled environment, try to look how it will behave. Try to make, as much as possible, very controlled to know how it will behave over time. We try to see its decisions, how it grows, how it makes different decisions based on our observations. This is how the city in the developing country sometimes behaves. Try to provoke the creature, try to see how it will work. I try to work with the city and see how it will behave differently, how it will grow in a different way. And at the end, I will try to compare different cities within the same species, or different creatures within the same species, and see how they react differently. From this, I come up with some principles, some theories, where I can say that this city will behave in such way if I did this particular measure. This would be very interesting to my modeling. I work also with a creature, but this is a different creature. It's called urban Eba, or so I call it. Urban as in city, Eba as in amoeba. It looks like an amoeba. This is Addis Ababa, but I only focus on the creature in the middle, which is urban Eba. It's the urban settlement inside a city. This is what I model, this is what I try to look at the growth of this particular creature. What is urban Eba made of? Every creature made out of little particles or units. And this particle is human beings, is people. Without people, no cities. Made out of lots of people, you can have a city. You can have an urban Eba. What does it grow on? It grows on the surrounding spatial or the surrounding land cover, which is quite important to us. You can have agriculture, vegetation. The city, the creature, tried to eat from the vegetation. It tried to grow, so we're losing something very beneficial for us. That's why I'm doing the research, I'm doing the modeling, I'm trying to see how it will work in this particular pattern. Which pattern it will grow. By looking at the patterns in different change detection methodology, this is the methodology I use. I don't work with magnifiers, I don't work with the microscopes like the guy from the monkey experiments. I work with GIS, a geographic information system, and analysis software. I try to look at the patterns during different time steps. I take 1970, I take 2000, I take 2010, and look how the creature grew, and then afterwards I can model how it will grow in the future. This is what I do, and I come up with impact factors. What really impacts the growth of this creature? What impacts the development of the city? Which turns out to be the accessibility and proximity. We said that the city is made out of people. People need to go somewhere. You need to work, you need to live, you need to shop. That's why accessibility is quite an important factor. So if I live here, I can live, work, learn, shop. But if I live here in the periphery, I can relax, enjoy the scenery, but this will not get me any money. I will just stay there and I have to move near the infrastructure. The second impact factor is access to water. Especially in a developing country context, you have drinking water, sometimes it's scarce, and you need to move or settle where access to water is. The second one is neighborhood. People like people. People like to reside where already settlement or already settled area are. They don't go in the middle of nowhere and build a place. No, they usually build near their neighbors, near their cousins or relatives and so on. The last one is nature-based, the slope. If I have a mountain and I have a flat land, I would definitely go for the flat land. A mountain is very hard to live on, at least when I have a comparison. Some cities can cope with mountains if they don't have other choices. But if they have both, they will definitely go for the flat land. So comes the modeling, which is basically like DJ. I try to DJ just like this guy. He has some knobs, and he tries to play with the impact factors. I have 5 impact factors. I try to change them. So I work with one particular knob and try to see how the growth will work. This growth means that this impact factor goes in this particular direction. I change the impact factor, I work with the other one, and see how the growth will develop. So this one will make it grow in this particular manner in the future. And then, based on this, I come up with different scenarios. These scenarios are just like the scenarios of the creatures or the monkey. I can see how the different growth patterns, I could go to the planning people in the Ethiopia or any other developing country or any other city and tell them if you did this particular, if you made more emphasis on the infrastructure, it will go this way. If you supply people with water in this particular way, it will go in that way. That's how we could use my model, using decision making and setting the output of this model into the planning strategies in order to plan based on what's really happening and not to be away the master plan in one direction and the settlements are going in the other. Now I'm losing breath or what? Okay, we're summarizing what I've been doing. I introduced the new urban creature, the cities, the things that we don't know. The second thing, how we dealt with these creatures and try to apply it also to urban Eva, my favorite creature, my child. And then we try to understand the urbanization behavior, try to see the impact factors that really drives this growth, or drives the urban dynamics. And then we model and we make scenarios for people to decide or people to plan. These guys helped me a lot, especially the first two. They helped me with the visual graphics and so on. And these guys even talked with me with things I appreciate. I would like to thank you very much for your attention. Were affected in any way in my course of presentation or even the footage. They were just unmanned ships and they're making some studies. And I hope that the voting process will not be based on nationalities.
I get the impression the voting process will be difficult. So, yes, we just had another very entertaining presentation, and we want to hear the verdict of the judges for the time being. This time we start with Eva.
I I liked it very, very much. I particularly loved the analogies you drew, the monkey observation example, the DJ example. It really clarified your idea and made it very accessible to the non-experts in the field. Thank you very much.
Well, as a judge here, I also hope that the nationality will not influence the behavior of the public towards us as judges. No, I think that what I really liked in your presentation, that you explained sort of every step of your research, of your modeling. And yeah, I think it was very well presented. What makes me a little bit afraid is that in this process of urbanization, people seem to behave like, let's say, monkeys or sheep even. That if you manipulate one impact factor, they move in one direction, and otherwise they do not. Yep, thank you.
Well, I think as an Egyptian judge, I hope that that the nationality plays a role here. Anyway, I think I like the way how you would simplify the idea. I like very much the movie that you used, the monkey movie, and it was simple, it was easy, and it was entertaining.
Well, thank you for being so unbiased, Emma. I have to say, Henry, that I thought your presentation was really rounded. You know, I definitely got an idea of what you're doing. I think you presented it very well. You used the images a lot to support what we were saying, so I like that aspect. And I can only say, man, you know, come back immediately in Cairo if you find, you know, a solution for the problem. Yeah, traffic. Cairo, so something else. I'm not going to go into the monkey analogies here, but you know, do come back and all the best.
So, give a big hand. Indeed, a tough situation. Is the nationality going to influence this choice or not? We actually have another also important influence factor. We have a standing champion from last year's Science Slam here, Agnes Che from Hungary. How do you pronounce your name? Che. And her slam name is Why? The question mark.